Super BS.
What's up, my doodlies? It's Branky Boy here, ready to come back and break some bread back from the dead. We're Super BS, a podcast about video games, mostly. I'm joined by today, who am I joined by this time?
JJ Josherson, Josherson, Joshton, the third.
And that's right, when Down with the Sickness starts.
Now we're going to get sued by David Draymond because we're copyright infringing.
Oh, man. Who's the guy? What's his name?
David Draymond. So I went to a concert. Draymond. Yeah, I went to a Disturbed concert one time. They were playing. I wasn't there to see them, but someone threw a beer bottle at his head, and he offered $100 to anyone who would punch the guy in the face. So that was cool.
That's cool. And his brother's David Blaine. It's really weird. Yeah, same David first name, different last name. So his brother came on the stage, did some magic, and made the bottle disappear. So David Blaine, David Draymond, everybody knows them.
One's magic with magic and one's magic with music. So it all works out in the end.
Wait, who does that song again? Papa Roach?
Disturbed
does ooh ah.
Yeah,
I thought that's Papa Roach.
Yeah.
Down with the Sickness.
Yeah, he does Down with the Sickness, and there's a whole song about him, about how his mom abused him as a child. It's not something to laugh at, but I mean
that's a good song. Yeah, everybody loves it. That idea, that's everybody's favorite subject material. What does Papa Roach do then? That's what this podcast is about. What's Papa Roach?
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Darn it.
This podcast is we're trying to get off YouTube, okay? Even though we're not on there yet, we want to get taken down. So if we can, we're going to sing lyrics from all the top songs. Mm-hmm. Speaking of top songs, I've been listening to The Offspring a lot because I'm a rebel.
Oh, dang, man. I was actually thinking about listening to their album last week, or one of their albums last week.
It's good, bro. And it's getting me stoked on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2.
When's that come out? Drop the date
September
on here.
3rd.
You heard it
September
here first,
3rd.
ladies and gentlemen, exclusively
boom.
on the Super BS Games cast.
And I've been playing another game early from September 3rd. What do you think it is?
Avengers.
Yeah! That's kind of the response. It's Avengers. I played the beta. Did you get a chance to try it out?
No, I didn't. I know you wanted me to play, and my Xbox takes years to download anything, so it's hard for me to put that time in.
Yeah, get that new and improved model, bro.
I know, man, but I figure I'm stuck now. I don't know if I'm just gonna wait to get the Xbox Series X, or if I want to spend the money on getting a new one. I would rather not spend the money though, but gaming on a budget.
Yeah, if the Series X actually comes out, for sure, wait for it. I am almost expecting this next generation to get delayed with everything going on, but we'll probably get to some of that in the news just because we've got fun next-gen-y / current-gen-y stuff to talk about. No, Avengers Beta, it is way better than I talked a lot of crap on it earlier. It's kind of what I hoped Marvel Ultimate Alliance would be. It's like a third-person, essentially beat 'em up with skill trees and leveling. It's pretty good. It's coming out in 2 weeks though, and it feels like it needs 6 months. It is not ready.
So it's fun, but it's got some jank to it.
Yeah, it just feels like they could be making a better game if they spent just a little bit more time. A lot of the characters have the kind of same moves, you know what I mean? Every character can shoot essentially. Hulk will throw a rock, or Iron Man will shoot, or Kamala Khan will punch her arm forward. So they all have ranged, and in a way that's cool, but in a way it also just makes everybody feel the same.
Can you throw Thor's hammer? You got some God of War action going on there, and it comes back to you?
Everybody, it's hold left trigger, hit right trigger. Every single person. And for Thor's hammer, it comes back. So there's a slight difference. But I just mean, and other people critiqued this, but when you're Hulk and there's a little dude on the ground and you can't hit him because he put his block up, it kind of feels dumb. Like there's things like that where it's just like, oh, okay, so it really doesn't matter which superhero you are because they're all abiding by the same rules of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and most of the enemies are either robots or like dudes with guns from like a bad guy organization. So it didn't really that part of it didn't really feel great. But there are like in the beta at least, I fought 2 supervillains, Taskmaster and Abomination. And those were neat. Those were kind of like fun. That made me feel like, oh, this is kind of like, did you ever play the Batman Arkham games?
Yes, I did. Loved them.
Yeah, it's kind of like that where it's, there's enemies that you're going to find. It's kind of neat. You're like, oh, I'm fighting Killer Croc now because I had to go to the sewers, or this place is frozen. Now I fight Mr. Free. Like it's that idea.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
No. Yes.
So, I mean, my absolute favorite thing about all Marvel games is how you have this camera that gets you stuck places and you just can't do anything and you're dying while the camera is not letting you look at what's happening. Do they bring this feature? Do they bring this feature over into Avengers? Because that's really the selling point for me.
Yeah, that request was heard. Everybody was like, man, this is too good of a camera. Let's go back to trapped behind the wall camera and then get your character stuck so he can't kill the last guy and can't move on.
All right, cool.
Honestly, the camera was okay. Like, it wasn't bad. It is a better game than I expected, and I think if it wasn't coming out on Tony Hawk Day, as known nationally, September 4th, then I think I'd be actually more interested. But between it coming out the same day as Tony Hawk, the things they've done with Spider-Man, and the fact I just don't think it's going to be $60 in like a month makes me be like, I'll wait. I'll probably pick it up at some point, but it's
Black
not
Friday
something
game.
I need to play. Yeah, it's. I think by Black Friday it will be like $30, maybe even less. There's a lot of microtransactions.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. But also, tell me about that sweet skill tree and progress system. What's under the hood there?
It's cool. I didn't really look at it too deep, but it seems like it's combos. You're getting like more combos. You can hit like X, X, Y, whatever. It doesn't feel like those really fun ones where you're both getting stats and really cool moves, because you essentially get your LB, your RB, and your LB, RB move, I think, immediately. I don't know if those are changeable. And there's also a leveling system, which I leveled up Hulk twice, but there's also like a power system like Destiny, which makes me think that your level doesn't really matter at all. It just may be incremental stats.
So you don't beef up your character when you gain levels?
You do, but most of it's based on your gear. Like, this is a gear game. This is a game where they want you to go to the raid and get more gear. And the thing that a lot of people brought up, and I think it's dumb also, is the gear is not cosmetic at all. Like, you cannot see if you put on any gear. It does not show it. The only cosmetics are like costumes that I assume you can buy with real money, and maybe you can earn or whatever in the game. I only played like an hour or two. I probably would have played more, but it is a beat 'em up. So at some point, you just kind of like, okay, yeah, I beat the guys here. I guess I'll wait,
Right.
But another beat 'em up I also played this week, which this one came to Games Pass, Battletoads. Do you remember how Microsoft was making that?
Oh, yeah. I was really not interested in that game, and it kind of just like snuck out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah, and it's pretty good. All in all, like, it is like for free for Games Pass. I think it's great. If you want to play Battlefield, if you want to play a beat 'em up with 3 friends, it's not bad at all. It handles really well, and I played through like maybe the first level, and I really dug it. But it's definitely, because it's a beat 'em up, it's again not something I'm gonna like go out of my way to play. Unlike Avengers, doesn't have a skill system, doesn't have all that other stuff.
Right.
It's a traditional beat 'em up.
So if you got some time on your hands, play Battlefield Toads.
Yeah, Battlefield Toads 5, World War II edition. That's the one. It's made by EA and Treyarch and Call of Duty and all the teams. It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a game cast. I can't play that on my Dreamcast. It's on my game cast. And before I ask you what you've been playing, I want to talk about a game that you did play, but that I just finished, Gears 5. I just finished that game.
All right, let's talk. Tell me about it.
Yeah. Okay, just so everybody knows who's listening, in case you don't want to know, we're going to spoil the crap out of this game. Or at least to an extent. Yeah, so we'll spoil the ending for Gears 5, so skip ahead, 3 minutes if you don't want to hear this. I thought the ending was cool. I thought there wasn't that much resolution, though, with her mom, right? Because isn't the queen her mom or like took over her mom's body or something.
Yeah. There's it's her mom is like the host, I guess, for the queen, if I understand that correctly. But there's also the queen needs, like in her blood, I guess, is the blood of the original queen of the locusts. So
okay.
yeah.
And I don't know if I love the fact that I had to kill one of the people. That definitely was a gutsy move.
I really wanted to talk to you about this last time, but I didn't want to spoil it for you. Yeah, so I don't understand. You could just as easily, like if you watch the animations, you could have chucked the knife and then shot the tentacle. Like you could have easily done both of them. Instead, you chuck the knife and then you have this like 2 or 3 minute scene go by while she's just standing there, and then one of them gets her neck broken. Who did you choose, by the way?
Man, I feel bad with everything in our current climate. I chose I think his name's JD, the son.
I chose JD also.
I felt bad because I liked the other guy, but I also didn't want to leave Marcus without a son.
No, I get you. But do you know what this? Yeah. No, I was, because I actually I cheated, I guess. I Googled what the outcomes were of each.
Same.
And I guess it ruins your relationship with Marcus if you have JD die. And I like Marcus as a character, and I don't really have any attachment to Dell, even though he's a cool character. Cool. But this means that for me going forward with Gear 6 or whatever they're going to call it, they're essentially going to have to make 2 different narratives for the game.
Nah, I think they're just going to scrap this story. I think they're going to wait a long time. It's going to be so much work to try to create one story with Jay, unless they're such minor characters, JD and Dell, where it's if you saved them, it will bring them out for 5 seconds. It's either going to do that.
Yeah.
That's going to be the only thing they can do. There's no way they could make it unless it was a skin. Then they could, I guess, swap out either JD and Dell. But they'll tell you your choice.
Yeah, it's because
this guy.
They're both such different characters, so it would ruin all character development if it's just a skin. And also, Gear 6 is not just supposed to close out Kate's story, but it's supposed to be the official end of the Phoenix story too. So I just don't see, if for the people that did choose JD, I don't see that being just a side character, It feels like it has to be more than that.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was a ballsy move. I didn't love it because, like you said, I kind of want to just throw the knife at the middle and then hopefully they both fall. You know what I mean? I feel like the game was hey, you got to do this big thing we're going to try to force on you. And, whatever. I think that's neat sometimes in Mass Effect scenarios where the game is a big RPG and you're going to have time to kind of deal with the ramifications, but they do this so late. If they would have done it in the middle of the story, I think it would have been more interesting than where they did it.
It was lazy storytelling. I feel like they didn't know how to make an emotional impact in the end of the game, and it was lazy storytelling.
Yeah, man. I liked the game a lot. I love the cutscenes. I think it's a beautiful game and fun to play. But I don't think I love that, and I definitely don't feel like it ended super strong at all. It's kind of just I think they saved the city, but I'm not even entirely sure about that. And then it's we're going to bring the fight to them style thing is what happened, even though it seems crazy that they saved the city just by killing the big monster in the ground, and that was all they had to do. What about all the other locusts? Did the queen just retreat or?
Right. Yeah, I don't. It's they're trying to give you that climax feel in Gears 2 at the end of Gears 2, and then Gears 3 kind of just wound the story down. But it didn't do the same for me. So at the end of it, it was a great game. I don't regret playing it at all. But I feel like there wasn't enough substance to it. They went for emotion for sure, but they're as far as the open world and some of the quests or the missions they have on there, it's a lot of back and forth. So it felt like it's a big game with nothing in it.
Yeah, I feel like there's ways they probably could have done an open world idea, but because of the way Gears characters control, it's just not the type of game I think that will ever be the experience you want open world. I think they could have an experience where they're oh, hey, choose where you want to go, right? And then you get a linear narrative from there, oh, I want to go save this thing now. But driving the sand skiff or whatever was okay, but it kind of felt pointless. It was kind of empty places, and it kind of felt more tedious than, fun. By the time you're done, you're like, oh, I got to drive over here to find this place, or where is this one? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just trying to find these side quests so you can get Jack leveled up. Overall, like, I still think it's one of the best Games Pass games, and in my mind, since I haven't finished a Gears since 2, like, this is probably my favorite Gears after Gears 1 and 2.
Really?
Because Gears 3, I fell off, like, the first act. I played through the first act and never played the rest of it. And same with Gears 4.
Loved Gears 2, really enjoyed Gears 4. Gears 1 and 3 are kind of like the ones that I wasn't too fond of.
Oh, really? So I played Gears 1 right when it came out. So I've played that one through like twice. And that game is, I still think, really, really phenomenal.
Yeah.
Before I get to what you've been playing, I want to talk about 2 other quickie Games Pass games. And then I got a question for you. But yeah, so I've been playing like through Games Pass. They have this really cool Microsoft Rewards things where the more games you play with Games Pass, the more points you get. Points can be turned into Xbox currency or Amazon, whatever you want, right? And so it's kind of made me play games that I never turned on that I was excited for. Like, have you heard of the Darksiders series?
Yes, yeah. I bought those from GameStop's like 5 for $10 deal. I just haven't played them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I finally turned on 3. I've played 1 before, and it was okay. I've never tried 2, which I think would be the one I'd like the most, which is like Zelda-like. And I turned on 3, which I had heard was kind of like trying to be like Dark Souls. And in some ways it is. It has like a currency of the enemies when you kill them. You use that, and you can use that to level up or do a couple other things, buy things. But the game itself doesn't have any of the complexity or difficulty of Dark Souls. So, and, from my memory at least, you can only attack with the X button. So it's kind of just like you mash X. So it was okay. But it's, if you're a big fan of open world beat 'em ups, I guess, because if you only have the X button and the enemies aren't difficult, then that's kind of what the game is. It's worth a try. And then the game I've actually been playing the most on Games Pass, and probably the most after Gears 5, was Wolfenstein Youngblood. Did you ever play that?
Okay, how is that? I've been really wanting to play it. I forgot about it until I saw it at Walmart a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's part of Games Pass. I don't recommend buying it because you can get it for free there, or if you need to sign up for a month or whatever for free. But I like it a lot. It's weird though because it's made to be played in co-op, and I'm playing it single player. It plays like a very fast run and gun game where you're just running around and just shooting bullets. But there's also a leveling system. There's also like a stealth mechanic where you can play the game entirely in stealth. And then there's also like it's kind of open section where you'll go to a section and there's lots of different paths through. So, but it plays at the speed of, did you play Doom 2016?
Yes, yeah, I did.
So it plays at that speed. So and it's made by the guys who made Prey. Did you played Prey, right?
Yeah. Which one?
It's the new one, 2017 or whatever. The one where you kind of like go on the space station.
I played a few hours of it.
Yeah. So it's made by that company, Arcane Studios. They also made the Dishonored games. And so it kind of is weird. It plays like a really fast version of one of those where there's all this really neat places to explore. You can jump pretty high, so you can go up all these balconies. But it's played so fast that you don't really enjoy any of those things. And the game's only like 6 or 7 hours but it's all level gated. So, like, you just shoot a bunch and you'll level up, and the bosses, at least the first one's level 20, and there's only, like, 2 or 3 zones to go through beforehand. So, it's weird because I think there's, like, a 10 out of 10 game in there that's hidden behind all this garbage, microtransaction-y, co-op, low resolution, ultra-high speed, like, Doom run-and-gun gameplay that Wolfenstein 2 does. But Wolfenstein 2 also had slow moments where you can sneak through a place. I've never felt encouraged to do any stealth stuff in this game. I feel like it's just like run around the place, guns blazing, shoot every single thing you can.
They marketed it more as a fast-paced action game. it honestly, when I first saw the trailers for it, I was expecting it to be a DLC or like one of those. What are those add-ons they had for Wolfenstein?
I
One
know what you're talking about, like the
felt
stories.
like different games. Yes, that's what I was expecting this to be, but I guess it wasn't that. But yeah, it's something that I've been interested in playing. It's not high on my priority list though.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, I'd love to play it with you, and it is a very enjoyable game, but they make so many cool rooms and secret passages and all of this stuff, and I know they do that in Doom and a lot of other games, but I feel like the game should honestly be played at like half speed with way more challenging enemies where you don't just like run at them with a shotgun, just holding down the trigger till you either kill them or they kill you, where there's like some type of strategy and depth to it. But because like Arcane makes these really, really incredible worlds that you want to explore. But instead they kind of like make it so it's like crazy fast. You go through, you do a mission, you pop back out to the hub, you get another mission, you go back to the same place, you end up killing the exact same guys from the previous mission, and you just kind of keep rinsing and repeating until you get to the level you need to do it. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but that seems to be the easiest way to play the game. So I don't know, man. Like, I like it a lot, but I definitely think that there were some missteps that keep it from being like a great game. Like, I think it's good. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun Games Pass game.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll check it out. I heard that I was listening to an interview and they're talking about where it takes place on the timeline. Some people are saying that it's like almost its own universe type thing.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a spoiler because it's the beginning of the game, but it's like in the 80s, which I think Wolfenstein 2 ends in the 70s, and BJ's, definitely does, because the twins were, I think, born at the end of Wolfenstein 2. And the twins are now teenagers, and BJ's gone off to Europe for some odd reason. I don't know why yet. And so, like, the beginning is all, like, the story stuff. You got to find BJ, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure there's a story at the end, but most of the game is very story light. Like, I couldn't even really tell you outside of what I've told you what's happened between missions. There's tons of codexes and other things to pick up. But like I said, it feels like it wants to be a BioShock or a Prey, but it plays like Doom 2016. So I'm like running around at full speed, double jumping and pulling out cannons essentially. And it feels like there's a very, very intricate world that it wants me to slowly move through. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I really dig it, but I just feel torn about it because I feel like there's a much better game there, and I feel like I'm playing the faster, unfleshed out version of it.
Yeah.
What have you been playing? I've already gone on and on and on. What have you been playing, my friend?
So I, again, school just started, so I'm kind of prepping a lot of stuff, so I haven't had a lot of gaming time. Did play some Dragon Quest on iOS, and I know we talked about this in our text thread, but man, I don't like it, man. It's like just the fact that it's playing on the iOS, but also I think because Dragon Quest is so old, and I know it's a classic, that it feels stale, and it might just be the fact I'm playing it on a phone. But let me ask you this, as someone who has probably played the real version of it,
I played on Game Boy, yeah.
Is it when you fight an enemy, does it only show the enemy in the separate battle screen, or is it more like a Final Fantasy style where your character moves?
Yeah, the Dragon Quest games didn't actually show the character attack till Dragon Quest 8, which is actually why I really never played a Dragon Quest till Dragon Quest 8.
Oh,
I want to say Dragon Quest 7, the remake, and I think the other remakes on DS and 3DS, they all added that like camera that shows you attack. But the games traditionally were like, did you ever play Earthbound back on Super Nintendo?
No, I never owned a Super Nintendo. Wish I did though.
Oh. Okay. Well, Earthbound is that same thing. You don't see your characters, you just see the enemy, you click an attack button, and maybe shows like an animation of like a sword swiping across the screen, hitting the enemy. Yeah, I think Dragon Quest 1 is a cool game. I think the iOS is the worst way you could possibly play it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What you really need to be doing now that you're in school is getting those students gold farming for you on World of Warcraft, start a gold farming scheme, and then making that real cash money, man.
There we go.
Get those kids on the computer. Get them leveling you up. Sell those characters. You're giving away the scheme
right now. They're going to know what's up when it's not actually like a computer science class. It's a World of Warcraft farming class.
Dude, you don't need computer science in this world. You need that
Yeah.
cash money, EverQuest World of Warcraft style.
Boom.
What's your arcade situation looking like? You were talking to me about that last week.
Yeah, I got a new high score with Galaga, and then it was defeated quite quickly.
Oh, by your family? By someone at your house?
Yeah,
Man.
by the missus over here, and
Oh man.
yeah,
Siggy poo.
yeah, she got I hit 42,000, very proud of that, and then she hit 62,000. So
Well, you gotta stop sucking at games.
I know.
And start
Apparently,
doing better at life.
apparently, she's more competitive than me. So
We gotta get you a main board on that, man, so you can start putting other games on there like Blitz. If I'm coming over there and there's no Blitz on there, how are we supposed to play Blitz? Get 2,000.
I know.
Man.
I want to get have a custom arcade build at some point, but that has
That'd
like
be so
two sets of joysticks on there. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Get some Street Fighter 2, get some Blitz.
Yeah, boy.
So the last thing that I've played, because that's it for you, right, my brosif?
Yeah.
It's been a week for you. That's a
I
week.
know.
W-E-A-K, W-E-E-K.
W.
Yeah, I just want to spell it for all you literary nerds out there. Yeah, the last thing I played that I want to bring up that you loved, it was your favorite game of 2017, is Mass Effect Andromeda. I finally turned it back on again. JJ Josherson, the #1 Mass Effect apologist, fanboy, loving that Kumail Nanjiani alien character in the Nexus. That's your favorite character of all Mass Effect series. No, man, I just got to the Nexus. That game has a lot of problems. I'm going to try to give it a little bit more time before I don't go back to it again.
It's honestly, it's not a horrible game. Like I everyone loves to. It seems like there's just this fad where everyone's like, "Oh, Mass Effect sucks," and even people who hadn't played it were like, "Oh, it sucks so bad." Like I've listened to so many critics, and finally they say like, "How far did you get into the game?" "Oh, I only played for like an hour." You have to give it some time, man. You have to give it some time. It's not a bad game. It's not a great game, but it's not a terrible game, is what I'm trying to say. I played it with all the bugs, and I didn't hate it. It was frustrating for sure, but I feel like now that they've worked out some of those kinks, that it could possibly be a better experience. But I feel like you had to have played it originally to appreciate it.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's the opinion of #1 Mass Effect Andromeda apologist / fanboy, JJ Josherson, always apologizing for how bad Mass Effect Andromeda is and how much it sucks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I haven't like come to that conclusion yet, but it's janky, man. Like they really needed to fix a lot of it. I don't know if it's as bad as everybody ripped into it for, but I mean, it came out a month after Breath of the Wild or something, so it didn't have like a lot of things going in its favor. 2017 was a very good year for games, and to think they released that was
right.
strange.
And they sacrificed so much for a game that you can now buy for $5. Star Wars Battle. Yeah, it was a decision I just did not understand at all.
Yeah, man, but I'm going to try to give it a shot. Like, I finally got to the part where you can save. You can't manually save the game till you finish the first mission, which means you have to go through the planet and do all this other stuff. So I finally got to the Nexus, and I was like, oh, man, I can manually save. And I looked at it, and I was like, this is my first save. And I had played like 45 minutes back in the day before I shut it off.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to play a little bit more. I got to be honest. I looked at the skill trees. I don't know if I love the fact that you can choose a lot of skills, but you can only have 3 skills at one point. So it feels like, well, okay, should I level these up or should I because I don't want to have like a ton of diverse skills that I'm never going to use. So I think the idea is you choose maybe 2 and then you occasionally swap them out.
Yeah, you focus on them.
But yeah, man, I'm hoping it gets better. I do want to take us to the news, though, because we got some big boys that just happened some big boys that will happen soon.
Not in the morning, but in the afternoon.
We'll be back.
Super BS.
Okie doke. We're here at the DC Fandome. We're living that dream. We're watching our Wonder Woman 1984 trailers, our Zack Snyder cut, Justice Leagues, our The Batmans. By the way, I actually think all those movies look good. I don't know if you saw the trailers.
They do look really good.
I think they all look very fun.
So I read a rumor, and this is purely speculation, but if the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League does well, they're going to put Justice League 2 back on and Man of Steel 2, and they're going to continue the DCU. So I'm kind of hopeful because I would have loved to see Zack Snyder's his universe come to fruition.
I'm really interested in Robert Pattinson's The Batman. Like, that universe to me looks pretty dope. But,
yeah,
I mean,
it looks
might suck, but it looks good.
It could suck, but it looks really good. I don't know. I feel like they've made a lot of bad moves, but yeah, the Batman does look really good. So does the Justice League Snyder cut. Wonder Woman 1984 looks like it's going to be another Wonder Woman movie, but
I like the first one. They're popcorn movies, you know. It's I didn't watch Aquaman, but I assume it's kind of that movie.
Aquaman's it's a fun movie, and so is Shazam.
I like Shazam. I actually watched Shazam. I had heard less positive things about Aquaman, so I was like, do I really want to watch 2.5 hours?
I think it's worth sitting down and watching.
Well, if it's on HBO, maybe I'll check it out. I know they have like some weird things where they keep dropping their DC stuff, and then it didn't happen. Like, I heard they were going to drop a bunch of DC stuff, and like Justice League and all that stuff still on there. So
well, that's because they're shutting down the DC subscription service and moving it all to HBO Max. So I think that's why all that stuff's popping up again.
Yeah, so hopefully that will all be good. I never watched Titans or whatever that one is, or Doom Patrol, but they've got all this stuff coming out. And the main things they got coming out game-wise are Gotham Knights. Did you watch that trailer?
I did. It
looks good.
It looks a little like less dark than the Gotham games that we know and love, but it also they seem to have brought over a lot of the popular features and mechanics from that series. So they still have the grappling hook and the gliding and the fluid combat system. So yes, I'm totally on board with it, and I love how all the characters have different play styles. You know, you have the Red Hood plays with guns. Nightwing is more of he has the sticks. Robin has dual melee combat, and Batgirl kind of has the regular Batman skills. So I love how each character plays differently.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. I thought it showed really well. I was a little bit disappointed when I read 2021 because I was hoping this was going to be a fall release with how much they've teased it since March of this year. There's some questions I have about it, like, is the co-op necessary? I know you can play without it, but is there always going to be a second character during these missions? Or are they only going to be there if I want them to be there? Can somebody go around the world with me if I want? Stuff like that. And then the other thing I'm curious about, because I kind of read a headline recently, was like they've talked about level gating. And I don't totally love level gating in games that don't need it, so I'm curious how that will work.
So that would be, I mean, when I think about level gating, I think about how in Assassin's Creed, right, you have, this was especially apparent in Origins, like you had all these different areas that were different levels. So I wonder if that's maybe how they'll do it.
Yeah, if that's their plan, if it's not too egregious, I'm all for it because it is fun leveling up your characters and stuff, and it's fun fighting guys who are more powerful. But I think that's why the Arkham series never actually had leveling up. They had skills you'd get, but they didn't have like leveling up with, blah, 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 because it makes it to a point where like, oh, you have to do X, Y, Z to get to that point.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm pretty excited for it. The big game from the actual real, because that game is from WB Montreal, which is the creators of Arkham Origins. The real biggie that we were waiting for, Rocksteady's game, is Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Did you watch the trailer?
I did, and I don't know. This like everyone seems to really like the Suicide Squad, but I'm not really interested.
I don't know who these everyone are because I have only heard negative stuff about them.
Oh, well, it's like everyone's obsessed with Harley Quinn, and like DC is so focused on Harley Quinn all the time, and it's like I like the idea of like being able to play in a Rocksteady game with characters that have different skill sets, but at the same time, like what made the Batman game so interesting was that you were interested in the character himself. Like they had all those things and all those clues around the city about they went into depth with Batman. Suicide Squad, there is no depth to any of them. They're alcoholic mercenaries with bombs in their heads. Like there's not going to be a lot of story there. It's all going to be focused on combat, and I just don't know if I care enough to go through something like that.
Yeah, I have like a few issues with it. I'll just get out with the biggest one. What has Rocksteady been doing? Because this game's not supposed to come out till 2022, the earliest, and Arkham Knight came out in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
What have they been doing that it's taken 7 years to release a game? They didn't even do, I don't think, the DLC for Arkham Knight. I think that was WB Montreal as well. So that is huge to me because it's like, even if I was interested, it killed all the buzz because it's like, am I going to be alive at this point? What's the world going to be? Can I play this? And then the other thing that it made me think of immediately is, oh, we're about to deal with Avengers right now. Another always because my guess is they said it's not, but my guess is might be a live service game. We're dealing with another live service game. Otherwise, like 4-player co-op, like what is it gonna look like? What's it gonna play like? Like a lot of these people just use guns. Is it just a third-person shooter? Is it Gears? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I have a lot of questions, and I personally don't think that Rocksteady has the answers. That trailer did not get me stoked on anything. It made me think like,
it's just a cinematic. It wasn't. Yeah.
Deadshot and Harley Quinn, sure, I'm fine with those two. Captain Boomerang and the Shark Guy, like, how are those characters going to handle? Like, those don't seem fun. At least Harley Quinn, you know what you're getting. It's melee, whatever. And Deadshot's a shooting guy, so you know how those are going to play. So is Boomerang going to have, like, also shooting, but he just throws a boomerang and maybe he can punch? And is the Shark also going to be melee? Like, there's a lot of stuff that they need to figure out before they start releasing games, and I don't think they're ready for that. I think that's also why we have 2 years, because that's why they didn't show any gameplay, because I'm not sure anything's really ready right now to be shown.
Yeah, well, I'm curious. I mean, it would be cool if they announced something at Gamescom, but I doubt that they're going to. Yeah, and everyone kept talking about how they're working on a Superman game. Turns out it's a game about the Suicide Squad killing Superman. So I don't know. If you were to ask me what my hype level was for this game, I would tell you it's at like a -5. I just don't care.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I would say like a 1, like meaning out of 10, because it's like, I guess it's a game, I'll probably play it. Rocksteady was cool, but I don't know, man. Like, I love the company that made Tomb Raider, and I don't know if I'm getting Avengers anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, and speaking of Gamescom, Geoff Keighley's opening night live is this Thursday. I guess it sounded to me like they're only showing trailers and new stuff for games that are either have already been shown or are coming out. But I also read on IGN that there's going to be some unannounced games with trailers. I don't know how big those games are. I know next to nothing about it. We're going to learn probably a lot by tomorrow, and if people listen to this, they will probably learn more by the time this goes up, which will probably be Wednesday evening. So they won't have long to find out if they listen to this immediately, and if they didn't listen to this immediately, they'll already know everything we know.
Knowing Geoff Keighley, it'll probably be like a whole week of just Death Stranding trailers.
Oh, man. Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2, everybody's favorite game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of announcement-laden things, man, we got what we wanted. We got what we were asking for. The Nintendo Direct came out today. It was Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. So I think you guys probably know my opinion on these from the last time when we did the wrestling one, Backyard Wrestling or whatever the WWE garbage game was they announced in the last Mini Partner Showcase a month or two ago. But these seem to be trash. Did you watch it or did you read anything about it?
No, I didn't even know it happened.
Okay. Let's go over the gold that they've released in this trailer. Just Dance 2021. That's a game I can't believe they announced, man. This is like mind-blowing. World of Tanks Blitz. I think World of Tanks came out in like 2010. So it looks like this is like a smaller Switch version of it. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. which I think we already talked about on this podcast because they talked about this like 9 months ago or something like that, or in January. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. Now, to be fair, out of games on this list, this is like one of the better looking ones. Did you play Puyo Puyo Tetris?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's fun, but I mean, I don't know if it's worth
a good like time wasting
showcasing.
game.
Yeah. This one is called Taiko no Tatsujin. It's like that drum game. You know, the one where you have like the 2 sticks and you can play a drum?
Beat Saber? Is that the...
Beat Saber. It's kind of like that, but it's like a drum. It's famous in Japan. Anyways, it's not even the game that they were announcing. It's like a DLC for it.
Oh.
Big Rumble Boxing Creed Champions. So this looks like it's a tie-in with the game Creed, or with the movie Creed that came out 2 years ago.
And the band, right?
And the band. So
Scott
a lot
Stapp's
of Creed music
in there, I hope.
In the Creed film. Yeah, and he's playing. He only plays Jesus Was a Rock Star, though. It's his only song that he plays. He plays it all night long. Jump Force Deluxe Edition. That game's on Games Pass. I have heard it sucks. Have you tried it?
No, I liked the trailer that I saw at E3 a couple years ago, but I'm not into fighting games. Like I like Dragon Ball Z a lot, but no.
Yeah, and then we got Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition. It comes out tomorrow, so same with Jump Force. I guess they come out. Crystal Chronicles is tomorrow. Jump Force is Friday. But did you ever play the original Crystal Chronicles?
No, so I have it on GameCube, but I don't own a GameCube. I just bought it because I collect the Final Fantasy games, and this is something I would like to play if I ever get some time. Is it any good?
Yeah. It sucks. It is the first time I think ever as a young man, I want to say we were probably 13 or 14 when this came out, that I have been so disappointed with a game. And we got everybody together. There was me, Donna, and a few others. And then they make one of the 4 people who play together. And I want to say when you played Crystal Chronicles, you needed Game Boys or something connected to the GameCube, if I remember correctly. Or no, you didn't have to, but you could to get extra features. Nonetheless, one of the 4 characters has to hold a bucket, which allows the other people to fight inside of it. So one of the 4 people who plays does not get to play the game. Their job is to walk around with a bucket and make sure everybody stays in the bucket zone. It's still a meme and a joke, and you still have to do that. They never fixed that, it sounds like, for this remaster.
So were any of the follow-ups any good? The Crystal Bears and the Echoes of Time or whatever? Okay. I know those are on
you could tell.
Wii.
Yeah, you could tell I love the original Crystal Chronicles. I was the bucket bearer.
The bucket
so I'm all about
bear.
it.
He was the bucket bear.
Yeah, the bucket bear. Yeah, everybody likes the bucket bear.
Yeah.
Then they announced Square Enix announced a collection of Saga Final Fantasy Legend thing for it's a Game Boy game. Do you remember those games? Final Fantasy Legends?
Yeah, didn't Final Fantasy Legends, one of them became Final Fantasy 3, didn't it?
No. So Final Fantasy Legends, they have 1, 2, and 3, and those came out on Game Boy, but they're actually not Final Fantasy games. But when they came out, nobody knew what the Saga games were, so they called them Final Fantasy Legend. Anyways, that's coming probably to iOS and Switch because it looks like garbage. It's like you're going to have a screen, and on that screen is also a screen with buttons. So just in case you're one of those people who hate yourselves, you can play with your touchscreen on your Switch with touchscreen buttons instead of the buttons in your hand.
Yeah, if you're a masochist, this game is for you. It's December 15th, it says, right?
Yeah. Did you get to see a picture of it? How small the little screen is inside the screen?
I'm trying to find some stuff on it. But I can't see anything.
I'm going to copy this for you because it is so bad looking. I'm almost appalled that they would do this because they also, I talked with Dr. Donna on the phone today.
Oh, wow.
And they re-released these games. Like they remade them. I want to say for either iOS or Vita or something in Japan. And they never came out.
Why does it look so awful?
Because they hate people. So you could spend $20.
It looks like a video game like embedded in a like Louis Vuitton purse. If just looking at the background of it, like it's.
Man, yeah, this should be on a refrigerator. That's what the game looks like. It looks like some garbage someone puts on a refrigerator. So yeah, you can punish yourselves and spend $20 on December 15th, day before my birthday. They knew what I wanted. This crap. So thank you, Square Enix. And then Captain Tsubasa comes out on Friday, which is it looks like a soccer anime game. I don't know what it is. Comes
It's the
out.
best of both worlds, man.
That's all you can hope for is soccer and anime. Minecraft Dungeons DLC, not even Minecraft DLC, and Fuser, which is the game from the creators of Rock Band. It was bad, dude. I mean, I guess it was better than the last direct mini partnership program, whatever you want to call it, only because there were more things announced and there was no WWE. But it is like that level of trash. And I think this is the one that was rumored to come this week. The direct that we were going to talk about as a rumor. I think that was it. So Nintendo has probably no plans this year.
That's disappointing because you keep seeing all these things pop up about Zelda remasters, Mario remasters. Like I wonder if they're going to have
trilogy.
Yeah, Mass Effect trilogy. I wonder like if Gamescom is going to have some things that will surprise us, maybe. But
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
my optimism is dwindling by the day, and my hope to play stuff on my Switch, like big titles I'm excited for, I've lost it. If it comes, great. Like I hope that Mario rumor that we heard about, the 3D Mario games, the Mario All-Star 2 collection, as some people have called it, I hope it happens. There's no telling anymore. But yeah, man, there was some other rumors with Switch. A new Switch is going to come out next year, beefed up one, but from what I've gathered, it's mainly for 4K, so I have no interest in it, and it seems pointless for a system that can't even run games in 1080p well to make a 4K model of it. As you guys know, we've been doing our top 5 lists. Did you have anything in the news before I jump to this awesome list of ours?
That's it.
Okay. Well, yeah, news sadly was a little bit... it's kind of a bummer outside of Gotham Knights. I think like all the rest of it was like,
it's just whatever. I mean, Gamescom is this week, so I mean, I'm hoping we'll see some things go down. But yeah,
I'm hoping we still have 4 months left in this year. I'm really hoping that there's just Cyberpunk doesn't get delayed and we get one surprise, and I will be stoked.
Yeah. So real quick though, we were at Walmart doing some shopping last week, and I guess like stores like Walmart and Target are trying to discourage people from buying video games during Corona.
Oh, I heard about that on the news at the beginning, but not. I thought they backed down on that.
There's these signs out saying, "Please limit your purchases so that their workers can be elsewhere in the store." And it seems like a really weird thing to me. And
well, Josh, you're single-handedly killing people by buying a video game at a store. Those people need to be
only the essentials.
Yeah, those people need to be at home unemployed, okay? And you are trying to keep them employed, you monster jerk.
Jeez.
You're single-handedly the reason why we're all locked up, because you're buying your games at Target and Walmart, you crazy people.
What is the matter with you?
You need to buy your games from Amazon. They don't have enough money, okay? Give Amazon your money. Write them a check, please. So we've been doing top 5 lists. We did the console manufacturers. We did the Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. Now we're doing our top 5 third-party games. Any game that was either on Xbox and PS4 or PS4 and Switch or Xbox and Switch or, whatever, any combination thereof. And we are not doing indies because I could not get 5 games for this generation just if I had indies and AAAs. So these are pretty much AA's and AAA's. So, anything Greedfall level and bigger is considered in this list. But everything, like Hyper Light Drifter and under will be saved for our indie top 5 list. So last time I went, I started it off. Do you have any honorable mentions to kick us off with?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to keep this list like slightly current, but like I wanted to put on here Brave Fencer Musashi from Square, just because I really enjoyed that game as a kid. But
how was that in the top 5 of this generation?
It's not in my top 5. It's just an honorable mention. I just wanted everyone to know that. Oh, this generation, is that what we're talking about?
Dang it!
Oh, dude, my bad. No, I went all the way. Okay.
Okay, well, we will try to. I'll let you do your all the way thing, and I will keep it to this generation.
Wow.
By this generation, I was thinking Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
Got it. I feel very foolish now. I thought it was like our all-time
Oh,
thing.
no. I mean, that would be a blast, and I'm definitely down to do that with you, but I wouldn't even know where to start, especially with 5 games.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to do a top 10 for that. While
Wow.
you are
How
thinking,
foolish of me.
I'm sorry. You can keep your list if you need, but if you do think of any from this generation, at least if you could move those somewhere around to be at the top part of this list, we'll understand that you love the other stuff more. I'll start us off then, so you got some time to think about some stuff that you maybe liked in the last, 7 years. My honorable mention was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I had a lot of stuff that I had to cut. Like I had like 10 or 11 games that I narrowed it down from like 40 that I really liked. And I'm a big immersive sim guy, so I had to cut stuff like Deus Ex and Prey off my list. But Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was like one of the most fun Dark Souls likes I've played, with a very fun story. I love Dark Souls 3. I did not finish it, but I got very far. And the thing that pushed me over the edge with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was it was a story I was pretty interested in, and the combat was simple enough that I never felt like, oh, this is impossible. It's really difficult. I played on the hardest difficult, or the hard difficulty, not the hardest, but it wasn't like impossibly difficult where I felt like, oh, I can't do this. There's no way on earth that I could play. Did you, and I'm sorry about talking to you while you're probably also thinking, did you like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order?
I did. I actually really liked it. It's probably one of my favorite games of last year.
Yeah, definitely. It was on my top 5 from last year as well. And I think it's a very, very well-made game. Because I don't want to like stress you out, you just stick with your list, and next week
hold on.
you can do a top 5.
I've almost got it.
You've almost got it. Okay, do you want me to do my 5, and then you can go honorable mention in 5?
You keep going.
Okay, then I will do my 5th game on the list, which is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This game would be probably higher if the Assassin's Creed games weren't essentially cookie-cutter Ubisoft open-world games where they make the same thing. I had so much fun with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, whether it was like, I can't remember what they were called, but the bounty hunters that would chase you and having to fight them, or going after the secret society and killing those guys and leveling up stuff. There was so much to this game that even though I haven't gone back and played the DLC, I did fully finish this like 80-hour game, which is a lot for me to do. And it's easily one of the best games of this generation. It's just hard for me to put it higher because it's from a company that honestly doesn't make radically different games. Almost all of their games share very similar structures. And at some point, I don't want to like give them all the credit for making the throw the kitchen sink at a game every time. But I cannot deny that Assassin's Creed Odyssey was one of the most fun games I have ever played. How are we looking at? Do you want me to give you a little bit more?
I got 4.
Okay, that's fine. That is fine.
Okay.
Let's start. Okay, so we got Musashi because we love that. What is just choose a 5. Any 5 that you like now. One that didn't make your list. Think about your top 5 last year.
Well, I know I'm thinking about it, and like I think their first party, Playground Games is a first party developer, right?
Forza Horizon is, first party.
Okay. Yeah, then...
Now it was actually third party a while ago. But you had, let me see, you had Gears, you had Forza, you had Star Wars, you had, you liked Borderlands 3, you had, there was Resident Evil.
All right, here, I got one. All right, so I got...
Give me a
5 on my list here. I got Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Are you serious? What are you doing? No, I'm just immediately attacking your list. No, yeah, that's cool, man. Tell me why you like it.
All right. Well, I don't know. I've always loved the idea of playing a Dragon Ball RPG. That's a Dragon Ball Z game that wasn't just fighting. It was exploring, going back. Like they brought back a lot of the characters from across that went across all the Dragon Ball series. A lot of characters I hadn't seen since I was a kid, watching Dragon Ball. It has this really cool level up system. It's a little bit confusing. It's just a fun. It's like a popcorn game. You don't have to think about anything while you play. You can just kind of like fly around, do side quests, fights. It's a very versatile game.
So defend now how that's your top 5th game instead of Mass Effect Andromeda. You monster. You are the number one Andromeda fan.
It all comes down to poor planning on my part.
No.
Next
okay,
one,
so that was your number 5. Let's hear your number 4, and then I'll go back to my
Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Really,
actually,
like it. That is one of the funnest games I played in like the past 3 years.
I've heard that from a lot of people. I need to finish it at some point.
It's I don't know, the combat feels very smooth, like it's incredibly satisfying, and it has usually Devil May Cry is just like it's annoying how aware of itself it is, but like in this one it's handled very well, and they do a lot of backstory, so the game knows when to take itself seriously, but it also knows when to do like the typical Devil May Cry can't touch Dante type of thing.
And you just love that emo character. He was your number one favorite. I don't know his name.
I just
what
like
is that guy's name?
Nero. I love.
No, not Nero. The emo
V.
dude.
His name's V.
V.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it brought a lot of new things to the franchise, and just like seeing how it looks less arcadey and more like a legitimate next gen title. Like it was a lot of fun.
Okay, well, I'm going to shoot a number 4 at you that is worthy of the number 4.
Oh, dang.
Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
That game is super fun. I loved it. It was actually kind of what started Super BS was you hitting us up and then us talking about Final Fantasy 15 for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
For like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we talked about, even though the game was 2 months old at that part, or 3 months old. It's really well made. It has issues. It is not perfect, but there was a lot of fun things about it. The hunts were cool. I think they even patched a lot of stuff that I had problems with. Like they let it so you can take multiple hunts, I want to say.
Multiple hunts at once,
stuff.
yeah, and you can turn them into any quest giver now.
Man, that sounds like a miracle, because I only remember playing when you could take one hunt at a time, which drove me insane. No, I love that game. I think it's great. I really wish they would have made the second half better, but I think it's a really top-tier game from this generation.
It's very self-contained, too. I think that's one of my favorite things about it. Like, you don't have to, like, have this Final Fantasy X sequel type thing. It starts and it ends, and there can't be a sequel because the ending.
The stuff.
Yeah.
Of the stuff, okay? No spoilers.
Stuff.
We spoiled Gears 5, but that's because that game's only 9 months old, okay? I'm not going to spoil a game that's 4.5 years old now. Okay, what is your number 3?
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. You already talked about it, but it's honestly this hit me at a time when I just cared less about Star Wars. Like I could really just not care about anything Star Wars ever again. And then this game,
thought after 8, it's never going to get any better. I don't want to watch anything else.
I was like, this is the peak
the
right
pinnacle.
Here. Yeah, but it had a storyline that was very engaging, characters that were really interesting, worlds that were really fun to explore. Like this was the first time in a while that, especially on a Star Wars game, that I've wanted to wander off the beaten path and see what else is there. And
it's really fun.
Yeah, it was just it pulled me in, and it was a game that I was legitimately excited to turn on when I got home each day.
Yeah, I think the only thing it was missing is more resurrected Palpatine. Like, I think they should have had that, and then also killed off every single character they introduced.
Like, that would have been cool.
That would have been a lot better.
It needed also a few more political statements, but it's
they don't have enough of those in the game, so I've already written my hate mail to Respawn. My number 3 is one of the best remakes, not a remaster, that has, I think, like ever come out. The RE2 remake, Resident Evil 2.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
That game is so well made. I never actually played the first Resident Evil 2 when it came out, or the original, I should say. I played Resident Evil 1, the remake, on GameCube, and the tank controls and stuff were always like, oh, okay, this is interesting, but they were never that much fun to play because it was kind of always like you're fighting the game while trying to play it. RE2 made the game both a joy to play because it was kind of scary and you didn't know what was going on, but at the same time, you're like, oh, hey, this actually controls really well. So instead of just making it so easy, they do things like your character sways a little just so you can't always hit those headshots that you need. I can't speak highly enough. I think I had Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 3 as contenders on this list, and the Resident Evil 3 remake, I mean. And Resident Evil 2 it had to be my choice for the Resident Evil game.
So that game,
this generation.
I got about halfway through that game, had to take a couple weeks off of playing it before I got to the end finally, but it gave me anxiety.
Oh, wow.
Just
so you love it.
the being stalked by Mr. X, I think is called. Yeah, being stalked by him. Because there's that part where you're in the hallway and you have to throw all the switches and do the little hacking thing before he gets to you. And it was like, I literally thought that I was going to have a heart attack. I could feel like my heart bump, 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 bump. So I had to stop playing the game for a while.
And then after your heart attack, you came back and finished it, right?
Of course, yeah. Yes.
Okay, what is your number 2?
Number 2, I have Final Fantasy VII, the remake. We've already talked at length about this one, but it was
PS4 exclusives.
No, it's third party technically. It's Square.
I guess you could put it there. I was kind of trying to get a list of games that were on multiple consoles, but we didn't really discuss this beforehand.
Again,
so tell me about No, it wasn't. It's not your fault. I actually didn't specifically say anything. So let us know why you like Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I mean, again, we've talked about it at length. It's a.
I don't know anything about it. Never heard of it.
It's very nostalgic. Nice trip down memory road. It's
not lane. It's memory road. Everybody.
Memory road. And
next to Rainbow Road.
Rainbow Road. Yeah. No. It was a good time. I love the extension of the story and how it's kind of like a retelling and not a remaking of it. A lot more depth to the characters and side quests. It actually a lot of the stuff that felt pointless in the PlayStation game felt like it had a purpose in this one, and it was a joy to go back to Midgar.
Yeah, I've spoken at length about my issues with it, but overall I'm still really excited for what will now be a series of games to make Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, I dug it. I totally can see how that's your number 2. My number 2 is Apex, which means it's better. So it's better than your number 2 because it's an Apex. Apex Legends is another Respawn game, and it is incredible. They did such a good job at the handling and the feel. I play it pretty much every day, and I've played it every day since it came out. I want to say February of last year. I've missed maybe a few days here and there, but it handles really well. It's a blast to play, and there's enough stuff to do that, I play about 2 matches every day and have fun every time. It's just a really well-made first-person shooter, and just every bit of the controls feel like it was immaculate. Did you ever play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2?
Yes.
It feels like what that should be today, because that was the company that made that, where you can slide and move, and if you ever played that favela map, it feels like that everywhere, where you can jump on the roofs, and go down. You find the guy and you attack him. It's incredible. Hopefully they'll keep adding on to it, and man, can't recommend it enough. What is your number 1 for this generation third party?
All right, so you already kind of named my number 1, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I spent probably about 180 hours in this game. Nice. Explored every inch of the map, locked down every every hunt and every story DLC, everything in this game. I almost leveled him completely up. I cannot say enough great things about this game. And the world was so intriguing. You felt attached to the characters you're doing side quests for. I wanted to explore every inch of this game. It became an obsession almost on Elder Scrolls Skyrim proportions. And I've never played since Skyrim, I haven't played a game that's ever done that to me.
So I totally feel you. I would almost put it up there at my number 1 too. And actually, my number 1 is what it was trying to emulate. My number 1 is The Witcher 3, which is
that was a good one.
Yeah, it's really incredible, and the story and the choices were probably the best part. I actually think it's less fun to play than Assassin's Creed in a lot of ways, but it's also a lot more grounded in its world, I should say. You're not jumping over buildings whenever you want, and it's just cool. Every part of it is cool, and every choice is memorable. And the side quests in that game, I still remember them like I played it yesterday, and some of them I played 4 years ago. Like it is. I don't know when I will see another game with storytelling that is so dynamic and so interesting. Like Last of Us Part 2, I have already talked a lot about this here, is like having one of the best stories I've ever played.
Yeah.
But there's no real choice in that game. Whereas Witcher 3, like the options to get to the end it's astounding. And you wouldn't know that because everything feels like it was made to be the choice you made. Not a choice like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I often, they offered choice and stuff in that too. I felt like most of the choices were mostly pointless, but they were a lot of fun. The game was fun, so you just kind of overlook that part.
Yeah.
But this game, it's like, wow, people die or live based on the decisions you make. And I can't say good enough things about The Witcher 3. It's it's a little bit old now, and it's made by probably what would be considered a double A company, CD Projekt Red, which is now triple A. They're the one making Cyberpunk 2077 and the one everybody's excited for. But they were not that studio when this game came out. They had only made Witcher 1 and Witcher 2. So
yeah,
man, there were a lot of great games this generation. I can't wait as we keep doing these lists. Hopefully soon we'll have some big topics that will come here and knock all of our lists off the charts, and we'll start talking about that junk. You got anything else to add before we peace out?
I think that's it, man.
Well, my bro stuff, it was good chatting with you. We will talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, yeah.